Good morning, I'm Lisa Kanicki, President of the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce, and this is Business Over Breakfast. I'm here this morning with Brian DeCruz of the Legacy Group, powered by Real.
Get out of bed, the business is calling, the coffee is ready. Wake up with the best, so wake up with the best. Business over breakfast with the Ocean Community. Business over breakfast with the Ocean Community.
Thanks for having us this morning.
Oh, you're welcome.
We're happy to be here in Charlestown at your beautiful location.
Yeah, it's an awesome location.
It is. You're right above the South County Tourism Council folks. They're great.
I'm blessed to
partners
be
with
here.
us.
And across from Cumberland Farms and Washington Trust.
And it's a swanky,
Yeah.
swanky
I
little
jokingly
space you
say
got.
that it's the penthouse of Charlestown.
I think I agree
can
with
see
you.
everything that's going on from here.
Yep, you've got quite the perch.
Right.
So on top of this amazing piece of real estate that you're lucky to be in, we're here to talk about real estate in general. And your background, how you got into it, why you're so passionate about it, and what's going on in the industry these days.
Sure. I can. Why don't I start from the beginning?
Yeah.
How I got into the real estate business was I had hired a realtor by the name of Joe Dias. He was selling new construction in not South Kingstown, Richmond, Rhode Island, and working with him, he sold my house in North Providence within like 2.5 weeks. And he kept saying to me the whole time that, you should be in the real estate business. But I was like, Joe, I can't be in the real estate business because I have a young child. Evan was like, I think, a year old at the time. Mm-hmm. And so I ended up building a house in Richmond with him. And during that time, I was living with my in-laws in Charlestown and looking for something to do in the evening. I decided to take the class and said, well, what's the worst case scenario? I'll learn something. I was working for American Power Conversion at the time. Unfortunately, my mother had been fighting breast cancer for a long time. From the time I was 16 till I was 29, she fought breast cancer. And I didn't realize that she, wasn't going to beat it again like she beat it the first time. So I decided that American Power Conversion wouldn't give me a leave of absence at the time. So I quit and went full-time with real estate. Now, the beauty of that is that I ended up working with Joe. I was already licensed. I had 40 new construction homes to sell, brand new.
Wow.
Like, meaning I'm brand new to the business, but most people didn't know I was brand new.
No.
Because, at the closings, they'd be like, oh, how long you been doing this for?
3 weeks.
Seems like forever is what I used to say. So I was blessed with that because also when folks had new construction homes, generally they're going to buy, they're usually step-up homes, and they generally had another home to sell. Now, they could have used their own agent to help them, but because I was the person doing most of the open houses in West Greenwich and Coventry, we developed a rapport, and they would ask me if I wouldn't mind helping them, and I would be like, of course I can help you. So that's
Excellent.
really how I got into the business, but the awesome thing is that my mother got to see me put some deals together before she passed away. So
I'm sure she was very proud.
That meant a lot to me.
Oh, that's awesome. And sorry for your loss. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that
I
was
appreciate that.
really
It's been a long time.
difficult thing to go through,
Yeah.
and you never really quite get over that.
Yeah, and Lisa, that was 2003.
Wow.
So I've been in the business since 2003. I had a team in the very beginning after I was with Joe's team, because basically what I did is I showed up one day at Joe's office and said, hey, I guess I'm working with you now. And that's all it was.
Surprise, I got my license.
Yeah.
This is what you inspired me to do. Now what?
Well, one of the funniest things I remember saying to him one day, I said, it was at a listing, I believe it was Woonsocket. I said to him, I have good news and bad news. I said, good news is that I think I sold this condo. The bad news is I think someone stole our sign again. and I said, I have a third thing to say, and I said, I can't believe I get paid to do this.
Aw.
So that's kind of like if you always do the right thing, the business will follow. And owning property is the American dream in my mind.
Absolutely.
I know it's been a little bit more difficult for folks.
Sure.
But, we can do what we can. We can help people set themselves up for success. Generational wealth is super important to me for people to understand that there are great statistics that if you own a home, you're going to end up with higher net worth overall. And on average, homes appreciate about 6% per year if you go back through history. And then, we complain about the interest rates are being higher than what they were for a period of time. But they were real interest rates, but they were manipulated interest rates. And if you look at the 40-year average, the average is 7%.
Yeah, real estate's solid. It's
Right.
a solid over time.
Yep.
It's proven to be a solid investment.
Right. And I've worked with developers, and one particular developer told me two things. He said, when my grandfather, when my grandfather was alive, I remember sitting on his lap, and he told me two things. He goes, buy dirt and buy gold. And that's what he did. He was a jeweler by day in
Oh, wow.
Providence and a developer of buying dirt and developing neighborhoods in East Greenwich at the time.
Wow. Well, the industry certainly changed over those 23 years. The
It has.
technology has changed, the way
Yeah.
you market it, the
Right.
way you reach your customers.
Yeah, we used to, in the very beginning, we used to use those tri-fold kind of carbon paper where you would write out the offer and then you'd have to press down hard enough so it would go through all three copies. And then the other problem back then is that until you delivered or got the contracts executed, you didn't have a deal, and we'd be driving all over the place,
Oh my gosh.
trying to get deals done. I remember sitting in someone's house at like midnight one time writing up an offer with
Wow.
them.
Now, email and back and forth.
Email,
Sign your electronic
signature.
initials here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's crazy.
It is.
I mean, some people buy houses that they've never stepped foot in
I've done that before.
just by looking at it,
Right.
pictures
The
and
virtual
videos,
tours.
and that's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that nobody ever would have envisioned 25 years ago. But you've done that yourself.
I've done that, absolutely.
What were you thinking? did it turn out to be a good investment?
It did.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing is that I got involved in leadership with the Association of Realtors, not because I was really looking to get involved, but so the first step was someone asked me, because I was involved in politics at the time, would you mind being on the Government Affairs Committee for the Kent Washington Association of Realtors?
Okay.
And I said, sure. But you know what happened the next year? I became the chair of it.
Ah,
And then the next step
you got
was...
escalated
the
on
next step was...
fast track.
Oh, would you like to be on the board of the association of the Kent? Kent is a local board. There's 5 local boards in the state. So that happened. And then while I was on that, I got a call from someone that was going to become the next president of the association at the state level. Hey, would you consider, I was talking to Phil, and Phil said, is there anyone that's out there that you think should be in leadership that isn't in leadership at the state level? And she mentioned my name. I went kind of kicking and screaming because I didn't fill out the application until the last minute, like handwritten in my doctor handwriting, you know what I mean? And I remember getting a call after the interview, and it was during the pandemic because the interview was done by the nominating committee of 13. And I'm thinking, okay, Dean, thank you for calling me, letting me know, because he called me the same day. So I'm like, they probably found, don't want me, which is fine. He's like, no, your interview stood out amongst the rest of them. And you said you'd be willing to do anything. And I said, yeah, I'd be willing to do anything. And he said, well, instead of you being on the board, we'd like for you to consider being the secretary. And I immediately said, that's an absolute bad idea. Because I am not good at paying attention long enough to take the notes of the meeting.
You can record.
But here's the problem. Well, the solution, I guess, was after I went down the list as to why I shouldn't and how I've done this before, and it was too stressful to make sure that I was paying attention, taking the notes in other nonprofits that I had been part of. He's like, are you done? I'm like, I'm done. He goes, well, the staff takes the notes.
So he removed all of your objections.
Yeah, so I was like, I guess...
He could have led with that.
No, so I'm like, oh, I guess I just have to sit there? So that happened. So for a year, I was the secretary of the Rhode Island Association of Realtors. Next year, every year you had to interview unless you were an elect. Next year when I interviewed, they made me the president-elect. So I went from secretary to president-elect, and then all I had to do at that point was fulfill my year, and then I became the president in 2023. The interesting thing about that, and one of the reasons why I love real estate so much, is that my parents are from a country where they had no running water, no electricity, no indoor plumbing at the time when they came to the United States. I remember my parents being redlined, which is when people say, well, you don't really want to buy here. And the beauty of it was I made that speech during my acceptance of the presidency for 2023. And in the 75 years of the Rhode Island Association of Realtors, I was the first person of color to be the president.
Wow.
So it was quite amazing.
Kudos to you.
Yeah.
And kudos to you.
And I also made it, a couple of things happened there. I ended up, Joe unfortunately had passed away, my mentor in the real estate business. So I ended up having his son do the invocation, which was awesome. But I also made a contribution by getting everyone to donate to the Gloria Gemma Breast Cancer Foundation in honor of my mother.
Fantastic.
So that was also awesome at the same time.
I was saying kudos to you, but kudos also to these people in your life that have come along and recognized your potential and have encouraged you.
Yeah, because sometimes, we don't see...
The people on the real estate board.
Right.
These are people that saw something in you, and maybe even at the time you didn't see it in yourself, but they recognized it and they encouraged you. And
Lisa, I would agree that I don't see it all the time.
Well, I would hope after 23 years. I hope you're seeing it now.
I'm starting to see it a little bit.
I mean, you're very successful, so your reputation speaks for yourself.
And I truly believe in giving back, and I volunteered. My ex-wife used to call me, you knew my ex-wife, she was on your board, used to call me the professional volunteer.
There you go. There's worse things to be called than that.
Right.
And giving back in the community, pays dividends through the contacts that you make, through the networking, and that hopefully translates into.
But it also fulfilled my heart. At
leads.
The same time.
I know. You volunteered at the Chamber of Commerce with us, loading wood for Riverglow and doing some other stuff.
About that.
I don't. I never forget a volunteer. I never forget a volunteer.
Yeah.
So
was I dressed like this when I was doing it?
No, you look quite dapper. But yeah, I think you were in sweats that day.
Yeah,
we were
probably.
all kind of pretty grubby, but appropriate for the task at hand. Chamber work is not as glamorous as some people might think. We have a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and not everything with real estate's that glamorous too. You're dealing with all kinds of situations.
We're
all kinds of housing.
We're a therapist. I'm the type of person that likes to find a solution to every problem. And I used to tell people in the very beginning that there's always a solution, you just might not like the solution. But I'll find you a solution. I've had clients who have bought multiple investment properties with me who have referred to me as the hawk, kind of circling above and, making things happen and staying on people to get, the financing done.
Yeah.
And I remember one time, a commercial lender came in. I think he was with Bank RI at the time. He was like, "It's you." You know what I mean? But it's not that I was being nice. I was just being overly persistent.
Got it.
Got it. And that's what you want when you hire someone.
You want someone working for you.
Yeah. You want someone to have your
best interest. Absolutely.
And to understand ethics. And because there's also sometimes in our life, in the world, people that kind of work in the gray or don't have much ethics.
I agree.
And ethics is important. I would rather let someone down now than let them down later. Like, meaning if I feel strongly that it's someone that wants me to do something that I'm not comfortable with, we can part the relationship. That's fine.
Sure.
And and we can move on and hopefully remain friends. But there are certain things I am not going to do or jeopardize.
Yep.
I want to go to bed at night and sleep and not have to worry about anything.
Sure.
That's how I try to live my life.
What is the biggest challenge right now for somebody interested in purchasing real estate? And South County?
I would say it's the affordability, especially in South County. Also, the number of available units for sale is very difficult for folks because it limits selection. It's still a seller's market out there. We have 1.7 months of inventory. A balanced market is 6 months of inventory.
Wow,
So to give you
that's
perspective.
a shocking data point.
Yeah, and we had a really, and I think I was looking it up, for the last report that we put out as the Association of Realtors, there were 429 single-family home sales for the month of January in the state of Rhode Island. And that was the lowest amount in the last 11 years.
Wow.
I think 2015 was the last time it was that low. But certain things could have played into that, weather. Also, the
True.
other thing in terms of pending contracts, that's around 629 as of January for single families. And I'm just talking single families, not commercial, not residential, apartments,
Yep.
or even condominiums. There was a time also that multifamilies in Rhode Island just skyrocketed because you had a lot of investors buying multifamilies, and you're competing with people that are trying to buy their first home.
Right.
We did certain things, like when I was president, one of the things that we pushed for that has become popular, and I don't think many people know about it, is the auxiliary dwelling units. That allows you to...
Family members.
It doesn't have to be family members.
Oh, okay.
You just have to live in one of the units. You can
Got
either
it.
live in the auxiliary dwelling unit or in the main home, and you can rent out either or.
Yeah. I mean, that's helping keep some people in their home.
Absolutely.
That might have had to otherwise look at other alternatives.
Right. And then the other thing that we had over the last few years is that people were stuck. I can't say stuck. They kind of had the handcuffs on, because if you had a 2.5, a 3%, 3.5% mortgage rate, for you to go out and buy something else,
You couldn't touch it.
you could, but it doesn't make sense financially.
Yeah, right. So,
So-
that was keeping you in place. Just
Keeping you in
because-
place,
right,
but then not freeing up inventory.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and I used to jokingly say that if I ever disappeared, it's going to be someone on a planning board or a zoning board that got rid of
don't
me.
even.
That got rid of me. Because the reason why I say that is, and I say that in jest and trying to be
course.
funny, but we have 39 cities and towns, and we have 39 cities that have their own planning board and zoning boards. And I want it to be easier for development to happen. I want it to be smart, of course, right? But sometimes it's very difficult. And we rank last as a state in the country for new construction starts. And that's not just this past year, that's been a constant theme in our state. But yet we have lots of folks that are kids, our friends, our family members that can't find a home or
Sure.
afford a home. You can do simple things by changing density requirements. There's also other options. One of the things that I was part of from 2005 to 2013 was Habitat for Humanity
Beautiful organization.
out of Providence. And I think my last year there, we built 11 houses in 1 year. And the reason why that's important is that people don't realize we only build on Saturdays generally. Sometimes we had like
Wow.
a Wednesday crew.
Yeah.
But think about all the volunteers.
Yeah, that's a ton. What a commitment. Community effort.
Right. And I also got to go to Haiti with Jimmy Carter to do a build out there. It was so bad that they normally would rotate 1 year in the United States and 1 year outside of the United States. That they went 2 years in a row to Haiti because it was
Wow.
that bad. That was, I think, 2011. So I've been around.
Some incredible experiences.
Oh,
What a
absolutely.
source of pride, too, though, knowing that you're impacting people's lives
Yeah,
so
we
dramatically.
built 100 houses in a week while we were there.
Unreal.
There were 640 of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
do you know how I got to go?
No.
There was a woman who unfortunately passed away, who had seen Herman Deco, who was the executive director at the time, on TV, and said those folks do good things. She left us a donation that was unrestricted,
Oh, wow.
and by doing that, we could allocate money And by allocating money to Haiti at the time, it gave us 2 tickets
Oh, wow.
to go. And it came down at the end of the day that there were 3 of us that wanted to go. And I almost said to the other guy, why don't you go? Not a big deal. But and then I had a friend that said, you deserve to go just as much as he deserves to go. Because Herman was going regardless. So we only had one. So it got to the point where they were just going to take another staff member. So I said to the board president on the phone, I said, why don't you call Kevin up and see if he's willing for you to flip a coin?
Oh, geez.
So I went on, he flipped the coin.
You won the coin flip.
I won the coin flip over the telephone, so we had to trust that he flipped the coin.
Oh,
Do you
my
know what I mean?
gosh.
And I let Kevin call it. So that's how I ended up
Fate.
going.
A little bit of fate there.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the whole Airbnb and second property owners. I mean, at least it seems from our perspective, those people who own property, while some are having trouble even getting their first property, there are others that are accumulating 2, 3, 4 and using them as,
Yeah.
rental income, retirement income. That's got to be playing a big factor in the housing stock to the area.
I think it did play a big factor. It's not playing as much of a big factor right now because, the price points are higher. And to make them work, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. The one thing I can tell you is that I believe in, property ownership rights. So I don't believe in putting in restrictions.
To prevent somebody from buying
Right.
6 or 8 or any, yeah, sure.
Right. I don't think that's right. Because what's next? Well, just like rent control they're trying to do in Providence, I don't believe in rent control. Because, with my opinion, as an example, with rent control, if I am in a city where there's rent control, and I have no desire to raise my rent, maybe I'll raise it because if I don't raise it, I might end up not being able to, increase my rent to where I need it to be to make a profit. And I always tell people that just because someone owns a rental property doesn't mean that they're making a profit.
Yeah, oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
But Airbnb, I think where you need to have some regulation would be more with problem properties. Do you know what I mean? But that's something that you can
And I think
do.
most of the towns are kind of getting on board with that. The neighbors are advocating for themselves.
Right.
All across, I mean, obviously, like we said, we're above South County tourism right now. And we understand and recognize that tourism is one of the largest, if not the largest industry, particularly in the area that we're in.
It is.
So
But you
these
said-
are important properties.
You said industry, but did you realize that the real estate industry is 1/5 of the economy in Rhode Island?
I did not.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so we're significant. Also, we're significant in stuff that I was involved with government affairs. Remember what I mentioned? Pushing for the ADUs, pushing for property rights, pushing for nationally, pushing to make sure that you can still get your income tax credit on your mortgage interest, as an example. We're an association that is large, about 1.5 million members. There's about almost 6,000 realtors in the state of Rhode Island.
Okay.
That doesn't include other real estate agents that are not part of the
Sure.
realtors organization. But in Rhode Island, where we roughly run around 88% of all licensees are realtors.
So let me ask this question. The Chamber of Commerce, we're nonpartisan. We don't take positions.
We're
We
not-
don't
we're not
endorse
partisan.
candidates. We don't do anything. Same thing with the Real Estate Association?
Yeah, we call ourselves the Purple Party.
The Purple Party.
Yeah.
Okay. I have not heard that expression
Yeah,
before.
the Purple Party. And we have 2 offices nationally, one in Chicago and one in DC. And, one of the biggest things that we do is advocacy work. I was also Seth Magaziner's federal political coordinator at the national level for the association. So basically, if we needed to push for legislation or push against legislation, I would be reaching out to him, just like if he needed help in terms of something he was trying to get passed, I could use our contacts in DC to help with certain legislation that he was trying to get passed as well.
Okay. That clarifies it a little.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But that's also at the state level, because at the state level, we're also registered lobbyists, not all of us.
See, that's the difference. The Chamber doesn't do any of that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
We are not lobbyists. We do not. we monitor legislation that we think will be good or bad for
Yeah.
any business industry, and then we'll share. This is a proposed bill. And then it's up to the business owner to go and decide if they want to take
Now,
a position and contact anyone.
You have to remember, which actually people don't know, when we monitor bills, we have what is called in the state a bill tracker. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many bills got introduced
Oh, I can't even imagine.
one year that I remembered, or one session, because it's sessions? 3,200.
Yeah. How many see the light of day, though?
Not many.
I mean, a lot gets scuttled.
Right, but at the same time, you have to go through all the bills.
It's like a full-time job.
And we have a full-time person, a government affairs director, that is their job is to monitor the bills. And then we also have had bills introduced as well. And there are bills that we fight. One in particular was the electrician law, where now for home inspections, home inspectors can't open the electrical box, which I don't agree with. It has to be a licensed electrician to open the electrical box.
Okay.
Because the electricians, the home inspectors, what they were doing was visual inspections. They weren't touching anything other than opening and looking for things like double taps or anything that's concerning. So my concern is now, are people going to not get their electrical boxes inspected? Because it's another added expense. It's another person that has to be scheduled. The important inspections are your physical, mechanical, which includes your electrical, your water quality, especially in the area that we live, in terms of well quality, but also production of the well in terms of how many gallons per minute, your septic inspections, and more importantly nowadays also, depending on properties, are going to be lead inspections as well. So
I mean, there was a trend, and I don't know if it's still going on, when I was looking for a house 3.5, 4 years ago, I was competing against cash offers
Yep.
that waived every single inspection.
right.
And you're just like throwing caution to the wind. You don't know what you're getting. And we recently had a part-time staff person join our team at the chamber. She moved here, bought a house from another state, sight unseen, no inspections, and she is paying for it now dearly.
Yeah.
Dearly. Not on one issue, on like 3 major expensive, stressful issues. So.
I don't recommend anyone buy a home without a home inspection. There are people like myself who have bought homes like that way, with clients who are builders. I mean, I think it depends on their skill set. And if I walk through a property with a builder, they're generally kind of doing a quick inspection of their own. And they're deemed to be professionals. So I'm okay with that if they choose to go that route. But there's certain things they're not going to know. They're not going to know
you can't
the production.
see certain things until you really get in there and start.
But even in
poking
regular
around.
inspections, there's certain things you're not going to be able to see. If the basement's finished, you're not going to be able to see behind the walls.
Right.
And up in the ceiling.
So that's one of your recommendations. Definitely get an inspection.
Absolutely.
If I was thinking about buying a home in 3 months or 4 months, what other advice would you give to people now who are thinking they're going to be entering the market in the next few months? What would you say to them?
The first step would be to give me a call, and I would set them up with a lender to kind of see where their credit is, to see what they have in reserves, so that the lender can help them if there's an issue, rectify any issues on their credit, or at least explain to them, what is affordable and what is not. Just because you can get approved for a loan doesn't mean you should take out that loan.
Good point.
Because at the same time, you don't want to be house poor. Meaning all of your money is going to your mortgage. So
I get it.
So you got to figure out a lot of us don't budget, right? So we have to know approximately in our budget that we should have, what is a reasonable number that I can afford monthly. And then what people forget about, not just, is it the mortgage payment that includes your taxes and insurance, it's those other things. When you move
Shoes
into
and
a house-
martinis.
Yeah.
I mean,
but also from
quality of life.
From
Gas to go in your car.
yeah.
Getting your roofs colored.
I do that all the time. I get my roots colored.
Let's keep it real here.
Right.
I mean,
but there's also
can't
other
forget those
things, like
things.
even simple things, like you might, like say you bought new construction as an example.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do window treatments or shades. you're going to have to buy some furniture. You know, you might not have the
A
furniture.
little bit of
anymore.
landscaping, like all kinds of stuff comes.
You know, oh my God, my oil bill is what? Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Or-
don't ask that this morning.
So, you know, those are the things that we try to do. We try to educate, you know, our clients so that they make good decisions. Now, at the end of the day, I will give my clients advice. I will tell them what I believe they should do. But at the end of the day, it's their decision.
Yeah, you're
based
going to
off
respect
of-
them. You want to sell a house, but clearly, this whole success for you is based on relationships.
Right. You want people to be
A good
coming back
experience.
to you, you know,
Say,
talking,
he helped set me
Yeah.
up for the success.
talking good about you,
Yeah,
and not bad
of course,
about you.
of course. Well, and you've got a lot of history of good karma, good credit,
Right.
good connections, and making
Speaking of connections,
making people's dreams come true.
that's one of my favorite things. One of my favorite things is when clients call me for advice, and it can be anything. Speaking of that, I had a client one time. They moved from Pittsburgh, I think it was, and one day they called me up and they're like, "Hey, we need an emergency contact at school for our kid. Would you mind being that person?" And I'm like,
Is that on your business card here? I didn't see that as one of your services.
I said, sure, why not? Or even simple things like, you know, people move in and, you know, somebody's pregnant or something like that, and they can't help move something. You're there helping them move,
Aw.
you know, something upstairs.
That's just you
that
being
they
a good
need.
guy.
Right. But as I get older, you know, it's good to know other people that you can hire and
Yes.
have come move stuff.
Which
You
is
know, 'cause
back
I-
to your networking and the
Right.
different business groups that you've been a part
Yeah.
of. And I know you're a member of many chambers,
Yeah.
not just the Ocean Community
Yeah.
Chamber of Commerce.
Southern Rhode Island and Charlestown.
We
as well.
love seeing you at the networking events, and I know, you know, I've seen you out in public supporting lots of our chamber members, restaurants, and
Right.
in and around town, and we appreciate it, and I know the other chambers do as well. So that speaks to the area that you really cover, specialize in. You know, what's your geographic area? If someone's like, I'm looking for a house in this, what would you define as the
Well,
area
right
that
now
you
I'm
serve?
doing a deal in Warwick, but that's a past client and estate sale. I have some land that is for sale in Richmond that's currently under contract as well. I would say that if you asked me that when I was younger, you know, there's probably not anywhere in Rhode Island that I wouldn't go. But as I get older, I get smarter a little bit, and I would say all of Washington County, and I'm also licensed in Connecticut as well.
Beautiful. Good information.
You know, over the border, not too far into Connecticut, because at the end of the day, I don't want to be selling in a place that I don't know anything about.
Right.
It's not fair to that person. I would rather refer them. And that's the other thing. When we talk about powered by Real, Real is my brokerage. The Legacy Group is a team that I'm creating within Real. Real has over 30,000 realtors
Wow.
in the United States that I can rely on. So if someone needs a referral in, say, Florida, Montana, California, I have people in my network. I also have people in my network that are just people that I know that are with other companies that I trust that I
Sure.
can refer as well. And what happens with that is they pay, and vice versa. If I need to, if I get a referral, I'm paying them a certain fee.
Sure.
And if I send them a referral, they're paying me a fee as well. And that's just how it works in
Yeah,
our
that's
business.
the industry. Sure.
Right.
What haven't I asked you that's important for people to know?
That I'm a caring person. I believe in people don't care what you know until they know that you care first. You know, I always try to do the right thing for my clients and in life. And I want to set people up for success and not failure.
I think that comes through. You're a very sincere guy. It's been a pleasure to know you all these years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
Yeah, I think I met you in 2007, if I remember correctly.
And I just have been so impressed with your community involvement, your commitment to your family, to your industry, to the chambers. You're all about being out there and helping other people. And I hope it comes back to you, you know, 20-fold because you're a great guy.
Thank you.
I so appreciate spending time with you this morning. And if people want to learn more about you, where you're located, how they can contact you, what's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
The easiest phone number is my office phone number. It's 401-216-4777. Email address is bryant@thelegacygroup.net, and the website is www.thelegacygroup.net.
And there you have it, the Legacy Group, powered by Real. It's been a wonderful morning here with Bryant DeCruz. He's a great guy, an awesome member of the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. If you're in the need for a real estate transaction and a professional, think about Bryant. Give him a call. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thanks.